All right, guys, welcome in. I wanted to do a signing day eve show tonight, a special show. I don't know how long we're going to go. I figured I'd do about 30 minutes. Maybe we'll go longer depending on the participation tonight. And, of course, Buddy Sanji will be in studio with me tomorrow night where we'll wrap things up. So I think we got a lot to talk about. Of course, LSU basketball team just waxed Northwestern State tonight by 40. Big-time performance there. But we've got the first signing day for Brian Kelly, is LSU's new football coach, tomorrow. And I think I'm getting some text messages from a lot of LSU friends of mine that are a little nervous. And we can talk about that tonight. I for whatever reason, I like where LSU's class is. I think it maintained itself pretty darn well, considering what a dumpster fire the program has been. And so we can talk about that. So do me a favor, please share to your social media. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. And I'm going to try to fly through as many of your questions tonight as possible. And then, like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow night. First thing tomorrow morning, in fact, I need to look at my schedule again. 8:45, Will Campbell. 9 a.m., Quincy Wiggins. I'll be there for that one. Then you've got some other ones in midday. Walker Howard at 1 o'clock. He'll sign. Emory Jones at 2 o'clock. And, of course, we'll be watching Shaz Preston in the afternoon, although that looks like Alabama. Kendrick Law will be Friday. Ibieta will happen tomorrow. Jordan Allen will happen tomorrow. And we'll have all those links provided for you on TigerBait.com. And then we'll see at the end of the day how many LSU ends up with. And then we can talk tonight about who we think shaky, who are we hearing some rumblings about tonight. So I'm going to try and fly through as many of your questions tonight as possible. So y'all said y'all are getting some static on me. How about now? Let me turn it down a little bit. Is that better? Try that. Is that better? Should be. Tyler, you think LSU gets Kendrick Law, or is Alabama gets the three best receivers from Louisiana? That would be something. I tend to think I like where LSU sits on Friday, but Kendrick is not doing any interviews. I reached out to his dad. Either it was late Sunday. Yeah, it was late Sunday, and he said Kendrick would not be doing any interviews this week, and that he would probably talk to the media after he announces at 3 o'clock Friday at Captain Shreve. And we're working on having some coverage for that as well. So, obviously you guys know that if you've watched me, you understand what I think about Aaron Anderson. And that one was just too far gone, and Frank Wilson did not have enough time. Yeah, Mike Sutherland, Mike must have been talking to recruits, no doubt. I've been reaching out to recruits and people I know all day long. Dwayne official, LSU, baby. Brian Kelly is flipping everyone. You guys still getting some static? Let me tune down a little bit. How's that? Is that a little bit better? That should be a little bit better. This is the big question of the night. Palermo Trapani, Welch from Acadiana, Arkansas or Florida making a push. Is that true? I've been hearing some Arkansas stuff tonight. That is one that we are definitely watching tomorrow. Big concern. In fact, one person that I talked to said he's signing with Arkansas tomorrow. So we're going to see how that plays out. Denver Harris is an A&M lean. That is pretty much. Danny England Sr. What about some of the sleeper projects from Louisiana? Look, man, they went in and offered Ibieta. I think the Westgate tight end, who I've got something big. I haven't had time to get it out there. I've got a nice package on him that I probably will roll out Thursday. I may put it out tomorrow, but I figured I'd wait till after signing day. I think the month of January is going to be a lot more interesting in recruiting than it has been in recent years because there's a lot of kids that aren't signing. And certainly you'll have Jacoby Matthews out there, Harold Perkins out there. And then we're going to be talking, we've still got the majority of the staff left to be hired. And the transfer portal obviously is going to be absolutely huge. Better. Yeah, my shirt's creating static. Maybe so. Yeah, Emory's at 12:30 tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, Josh. Um, how is the static now, guys? Let me get rid of some of this. Preston likes to get in here and play around too much. Let's see. A little bit of static, says Jim Milano. Yes, they have prophets among us as LSU targeting transfer portal quarterbacks. Look, they're watching it. I mean, I know there's some stuff out there tonight before I went live. Texas A&M's quarterback that just hit the transfer portal, supposedly making overtures that he's interested in LSU. I think LSU goes better than that. And then that conversely is Max Johnson headed to Texas A&M. That will certainly make things interesting. But there's going to be a lot of schools out there that are looking for very good transfer quarterbacks. There you go, guys. You said much better. I got it. Don't blame Preston. I always blame Preston. Blaine Smith, good evening, Mike. Glad to have you with us, Blaine. Mike Blanco, your volume is low. How about now? Is that better? I had changed mic plugs for the Quincy Wiggins interview I did earlier today, which he was excellent. Check that out on TigerBait.com. If you haven't subscribed, go there. We want to have you as a subscriber. Tomorrow, those of you who are subscribed know that's usually what our subscribers say is their number one favorite feature of the site, the text alerts that you get to your cell phone when there's breaking news. And as each guy signs tomorrow, I will be sending a text alert for each of those guys as we get them. Sometimes I might send more than one in a text. But that'll be a big feature for guys tomorrow that are out working and they can't really stay on top of things. You're going to get that news sent directly to your cell phone. I don't spam you with text alerts. And by the way, there's a lot of new subscribers that need to go to our Tiger Den message board. It'll walk you through the process of signing up for the TigerBait Premium text alerts. And that's one of the best features on the new TigerBait since we relaunched new back in 2018. Blaine Smith, give us some recruiting predictions. Well, I pulled out an oldie but a goodie earlier today in the comments section of our Quincy Wiggins interview. And someone said, I sure hope he's LSU. And I said, well, if he signs anywhere but LSU tomorrow, I'll run naked down Skip Burtman Drive. So, I wouldn't be making that prediction if I thought there was any possibility that could happen. So, it's going to be a fun atmosphere at the Madison Prep Gym tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I know all the media in the area is going to be there, and I know there's a lot of excitement at Madison Prep. Great coaching staff over there. Always have a fantastic football team, and a lot of excitement for Quincy and what he's going to do tomorrow. My prediction's been LSU since July, and I have not wavered on that one bit. So there you go. David Cerami, LSU obviously needs to add a quarterback in the portal. How do you think this will affect Nussmeier moving forward? Well, Nussmeier's obviously been a bit quiet. You heard Coach Davis this morning, pretty much, and which was a scenario that I mentioned weeks ago, which, it sounds like they're trying to petition the NCAA to get him to be able to play in the bowl game without losing a red shirt. And if they don't, then you're going to be seeing some walk-ons. So I know that the Howards, Jamie and Walker, spoke with Brian Kelly last week when he visited St. Thomas More, and he said that they would be signing a transfer quarterback, and they were absolutely fine with it. How does Nussmeier think? I don't know that it makes a bit of a difference. You're basically Max Johnson's gone, so now you're bringing in somebody else. So the numbers would remain the same. So, is there somebody out there that would be absolutely a significant increase in experience and that much better than Max Johnson that you can get to LSU? We'll see. And is it necessarily somebody you have to have now? Can they afford to not get one now that's not enrolled in January and in school and participating in spring football? Or can they go ahead and go through spring with Nussmeier and Walker and then see what other quarterbacks might hit the portal after they finish spring practices at whatever school they're at now? It's going to be very interesting to see. And certainly, as hard it is to finish off this recruiting class, how much more difficult will it be to lure a transfer quarterback right now without knowing who the offensive coordinator is going to be? And believe me, when the new offensive coordinator is named, he has relationships with quarterbacks from around the country that he recruited at his current school or at his current school. So that's going to change the dynamic of that search as well. Chris Smith, where is Miles Brennan headed? We'll see. There's been some Miles Brennan discussion in the last week. I pretty much think that Miles needs to look around and find wherever Miles does, I'm all for him. But I kind of feel like that LSU's run its course. Mark Thibodeau, Bo Nix greater than Max Johnson. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix. I'm just not. If that's your only option, maybe. Hopefully you would be able to track somebody like that. Mark Thibodeau. Slovis is hot garbage. His numbers were piss poor. He's basically another Danny Etling. Wow. Okay. Here we go. Donnie Wright. What about Frazier? LSU or Florida State? I tell you what, I got some news tonight where I think LSU right now, based on the information I got today, I feel like LSU's in the driver's seat. I really do. I've called people that know people at Florida State. I've talked to Florida State people. I've called an Ohio State guy that I go back many years with, and I think LSU is in the driver's seat right now. I really do. But he's not unless something. He's not gonna sign tomorrow. So when what is his timetable? I've reached out to him several times, but how big would that be? I think that would be absolutely monumental if you're able to pull him. Brad Davis obviously has done a fantastic job. I've said it on multiple shows in the last few days. I just can't name an LSU offensive line coach in the last 15 years that would have even been in on Miles Frazier. And so you're talking about an All-American with 3 years to play. And I know he hit it off with Will Campbell and Walker and all the other players Saturday during the visit. So let's see how it plays out. But I think, with this opportunity that Brad Davis has, being the interim coach and being out front, being retained, being the offensive line coach originally from Baton Rouge, I think we're about to see the start of something big with LSU's offensive line recruiting. You pull him, you solidify this current class with some marquee offensive linemen in it, and then you go out and get a couple more transfer portal guys, preferably a big-time center, so you're not worrying about getting Fitzgerald West up to speed as quick, or you're having to still entertain talks of Emory Jones being a center. I'd rather see LSU go out and get a guy that's been out and playing and done some big things in college football already with a couple of years of eligibility left. Yes, indeed. Drew Boogie, Brad White is staying in Kentucky. Mark Stoops was on video, and we retweeted that earlier. And of course, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Kentucky with the tornadoes. But he was at obviously some telethon raising money for the people greatly affected up there. And in passing, he mentioned that he was staying and donated his bowl bonus to the effort to aid the people who have suffered through that tornado up there. So, was he the guy all along? Was he a guy just on the board that we thought was the guy? We'll see. Blaine Lord gives me a go, Mike. Thank you, Blaine. And speaking of Blaine and other guys that I know originally from New Iberia, it's the Keishon Butte stuff's been absolutely put to rest. He's not going anywhere. By the way, guys, one of our one of our sponsors and friends of the show, if you're needing any jewelry for Christmas, please go see my friend Kara Doherty over at Anton's on Coursey Boulevard. Whether you need Rolex, Tudor, earrings, engagement rings, necklaces, bracelets, whatever it is, they've got you covered at Anton's. She's working it around the clock. Go see Kara Doherty at Anton's on Coursey Boulevard. She's absolutely the best of the business, and they're burning the midnight oil every day. So go check her out. A lot of people already know where they're located on Coursey Boulevard, 10675 Coursey Boulevard. Kara Doherty at Anton's. Let me get to more of your questions. Ryan Caldwell, how are you feeling about Kendrick Law? Sorry if I already asked, just jumped in. Also, is Aaron Anderson setting us up for a letdown, or are we truly back in it? LSU's not back in it with Aaron Anderson. I know that Frank Wilson put forth some effort last week, but there really just was not time. We'll see. I mean, something freaky would have to happen, I'm sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I know they did. They sent the paperwork for LSU if something were to happen. But I think that ship sailed. If he wasn't a midterm grad or he wasn't going to sign tomorrow, and maybe there was another month in January to get on that could happen. Kendrick Law, I think it's very promising that he visited LSU this past weekend. I know he had a good time. His dad is one of the best people around. I'm told his uncle was there, and they had a very good visit. So we're going to find out Friday at 3 o'clock. A super kid. So, but I will say this. I think when you consider how things have been around LSU and around Baton Rouge for a while, and you look at what could potentially be lost in this recruiting class, but what was maintained, more importantly, what was maintained. The meat and potatoes of this class at the top were all held. And that's Will Campbell, Walker Howard, Emory Jones, Fitzgerald West, who, not only did he get an offer from LSU, but then he ended up getting one from Nick Saban. Bo Borderline, the offensive lineman. And then you will go, now Ibieta is a kid that everybody that's in the 985 has been raving about, legit 4-4 wide receiver. A lot of people think he's been discounted and hasn't gotten his due. Well, now he's going to get one. And we've seen some kids late like him that do big things at LSU. So I think, look, the transfer portal, I think, is what's going to make this class bigger than what it is. And so I think that's where LSU is going to really make this particular year go. Leon Nietzsche, why are we taking so long for an OCDC? I think it's I think a lot of guys are waiting to get through signing day tomorrow, and then after that, if you still are missing some pieces, then that's going to pretty much tell you that the coaches that he's eyeballing are coaching teams in the playoffs. JG says Law to Bama. Facts. Could be. Could be. Alan Dar, Preston going to Bama because Butte is coming back in wide receiver room strong already. Yeah, but I don't know that that's why it is, because Butte only has another year. You don't decide to make a 3-year decision, 3 or 4 year decision because one particular guy has 1 year left. And not only that, I think Shaz is an inside wide receiver, not an outside guy. You got 3, 4 wide receiver sets. There's plenty of room for him. But look, you got to sign 3 or 4 strong wide receivers a year. So I think LSU will be fine. They're going to need a couple more tight ends. They're going to need a couple more offensive linemen. Citizen will not sign until February, so they'll bring him in, and we'll see how that rolls out. Dwayne Official, do you think recruits and coordinators will regret not coming to LSU? Kelly is doing great things. We'll see. I mean, a lot of this is relationships, and I just don't think that I don't think there's any reason to panic. Like I said, I think the main guys at the top that are the biggest important recruits in this class have all held and will sign with LSU tomorrow. In my mind, I think the only major loss as of now is Aaron Anderson. So, what happens if you get, Miles Frazier, you really end up with Harold Perkins in February, Citizen, and then also you start to see some of these transfer portal guys fall, and all of a sudden you're really turning the corner. I think there's a lot of positives here. I'm with you, JG. LSU will have a quality class this year. Next year, lights out. Mike Andrews, Alabama has 4 wides committed with Law and Preston hanging. How many did they sign last year? I'm not sure how many they signed last year. I don't recall. But I mean, obviously LSU had a nice sized class last year. And all those guys are coming back. So. Stephen Cubbett, what about the run back from Neville? Did LSU ever offer him? No, they didn't. I know he was one to watch, but that did not happen. Hey, Mike, is there any chance that Miles Brennan stays? No, I don't see that. Ryan Caldwell, Law seems like a guy that not just plays outside, but can catch out of the backfield and take a handoff on a. He does a lot of things. He can play on both sides of the ball. He can play running back. He can play wide receiver. He can play corner. He can play safety. He's just a whale of an athlete, highly intelligent, a coach's son, and I love me some Kendrick Law. Both he and his dad, just excellent people up there in Shreveport. Prophet Among Us, thank you very much for the super chat. How many linemen do we target from the portal? Well, I think, look, on top of Frazier, I think maybe a couple more. And like I said, I think one of them needs to be a center. And so if you do all that with what would be returning from the current roster, the freshmen, I think LSU, all of a sudden, you've got a great nucleus early on. And then you start to build on them, and those guys come together. But 2 or 3, yeah. Kenny Russell. Mike, do you see LSU landing Kendrick Law Friday? I tell you what, recruits talk. You'll get them off the record saying some things, and a lot of times they'll come out of a recruiting weekend and you'll say, what's so-and-so going to do? And they'll give you a little something. I'm telling you, the recruits that were along, they had a great time with Kendrick, but none of them have an idea as to where he's going to sign. He's kept his card so close to the vest, and so that can make you nervous. That can make you think that it's Alabama because he didn't whisper to anybody, "I'm coming," nothing like that. Or he's, or maybe they hadn't made their decision up yet. But they pretty much are doing their homework, and we'll see. I don't have a prediction on Kendrick Law right now. I really don't. Is it 50-50, 40-60? I don't know. Chance Babin, if Shaz, Anderson, Law go to Bama, that will suck. Yeah. That would be, I don't think it's a doomsday scenario. It would be a storyline for this year's class. But it is 1 year. And wide receivers grow on trees in Louisiana. They just do. I'm not worried about athletes in LSU. I'm just not. And you're talking to a guy who foams at the mouth every time he sees Aaron Anderson highlights. Tony Williams, good evening, Mike. Do you think the Liberty High running back Caleb Jackson is getting a scholarship? Oh, yeah. Caleb's got offers from everybody that matters, and he's going to take a lot of visits. Coach Trosclair in Liberty obviously got eliminated by St. Thomas More in the playoffs. Great run, packed up a lot of wins, but boy, they really drew a short straw, a substantial short straw when they now have, after 1 year playing varsity football, they get to go to 5A in that brutal district that they're going to be in next year. So Caleb Jackson's going to earn his yards next year, I can tell you that. But yeah, that's one that Frank Wilson obviously is going to start working and building a relationship with as soon as possible. Coach Kelly as well. And, how quickly do they have a junior day? Do we see the old style junior days come back? I think we do. Do those even start back up in January? And then I suspect throughout the spring there's going to be a slew of juniors and sophomores coming out there. Let's see. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like, share button. Still seeing a lot of you guys. And by the way, thank y'all for putting us over the 10,000 mark on last Wednesday night show. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this out. And we got a big signing day coming for you tomorrow. I'm going to be on our Tiger Den message board all day long. Sign up for our text alerts if you're a premium subscriber and you haven't done so already, or if you're going to subscribe tonight, try out our $1 trial period. And like I always tell everybody every week, choose the annual package versus the monthly. You're essentially getting 3 months free when you do that. And we want to have you all as a part of our TigerBait community. Our message board is really flying now. Got a lot of great discussion. And if you're one of the guys that likes to stay on the message board and talk LSU football, basketball, baseball, recruiting, day and night, our premium message board has a lot of great guys on there that really get into the nuts and bolts of it day and night. And of course, I'm there all the time as well. JG says 332 watching, only 51 likes. Come on, people, support your own. Yeah, there you go. John Christofic, we only have one scholarship quarterback on our team. Well, you're going to have two tomorrow. So you're going to have Nussmeier and Walker Howard. And then, like I said earlier, how do they play the transfer portal for a quarterback? Do they push to get one that can be there for the spring semester? Or do they go into the spring with the two and then see who else arrives there after they battle it out at their particular schools in spring football? And then that gives them a bit of a longer time to evaluate and get a lay of the land. And certainly you're still waiting to see who the offensive coordinator is going to be, what relationships he has, what quarterbacks did he recruit over the years at the school he's at. And now maybe he didn't get that kid at his current destination but he can get them to LSU because the timing's right. So there's so many storylines that can play out here. It might not even need to be your offensive coordinator. It can be the guy who's coming in to be your linebackers coach. How did Joe Burrow end up here? He ended up here because Coach Bush had a relationship with Joe Burrow's dad. You just never know what new position coach, hire, or whoever you bring in that's going to be the difference to get you guys in here. So I want to get to, yes, he is. Ryan Engel, is Walker an early enrollee? He sure is. David Risk, BK, looking at the Kentucky DC. No, David, earlier tonight, Mark Stoops announced that he was staying at Kentucky, and he was actually donating his bowl bonus to the telethon they were doing tonight to raise money for the victims of the tornadoes up there. Carl the Cat, good job tonight, Mike. Another W by basketball. Absolutely, Will Wade's team laid the wood tonight. 40-point win. Kim Mulkey and the women, both teams ranked in the top 25. And so the stage is getting set. What if more people, look, football drives the bus, we know it, but, January 4th, what are more people going to be really paying attention to? Because LSU could be undefeated when Kentucky comes to town to play LSU, first SEC game of the year. What a madhouse that could be. Talk about a tough ticket. That one might be as tough as Garth Brooks tickets. There it is. I missed it. And I got a call right in the middle of the show saying Ibieta just committed to LSU. There he is. Yeah, Preston just hit me with that, guys. Thanks. Preston, you getting the story up? Let me know. Happened while we were live. And by the way, there was some. We figured it would happen, but when it didn't happen all day yesterday and all day today, just kind of knew that it would be tomorrow. But glad that's one that we can knock off, and that's a nice pickup for LSU. Super kid. Ibieta, of course, Manderville, legit 440, and everybody I talk to on the North Shore and in the 985, that's all they do is rave about him. So thanks for relaying that, guys. Yeah, Preston says he's getting that story up. Let's see. All right. I think the guy we're watching tomorrow, I think Tolan, I was getting some call from some Georgia guys today asking if there was any issues there. But I think Tolan is firm to LSU. I think he signs tomorrow. So I think of the current commitment list, the only guy that we're watching, wondering if something funny is going to happen, is LaTerrence Welch from Acadiana. Been hearing some strong Arkansas flip rumors early evening. So we'll be watching out for that one tomorrow. It's going to be an eventful day. It's not going to be it's not as going to be as great of a day as it would have been had Ed Orgeron won 10 or 11 games and you held everybody, and all these guys like Shaz and Aaron Anderson and Kendrick Law would likely have been 100% done deals. But considering what everything this program has gone through in the last few months, I think it's vital that the main guys at the top stayed on board. So I wonder if some of the hand-wringing about, some of the receivers, and if LSU goes 0-3 on the receivers, if we're going to look back on this months from now or a year from now, Sam, after we see what happens in the portal, and for good, don't forget, LSU's got a lot of super freshmen that are still yet to develop, and I think that's going to be very important for Coach Kelly, is to get a very stout wide receivers coach that can coach the position, because this wide receiver group needs to be developed, and they need a strong wide receivers coach that actually knows the position and knows how to coach it. Because you've got some talent there, and I think they need more help than they were getting. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Gerald Holyfield, Law is committing Friday night, Mike. Is it now changing from 3 o'clock, Gerald? Is that what you're saying? I was told 3 o'clock on Friday. Are they now doing it in the evening? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Um, I'm hoping it's still 3. So big news tonight. Landon Ibieta commits to LSU right in the middle of the show. That's good stuff. Kip Kippers, will Woodward be at the bowl game or at the basketball game for Dale Brown Court? Boy, that's a good question. I'm assuming he'll be at the bowl game. I think they'll split. He'll be there. We'll see where Verge is at. We'll see where Stephanie's at. There'll be somebody at both games. Maybe he stays in town because that is going to be a big, big national game. Because like I said, look at the rest of the schedule. I mean, it's highly likely LSU's undefeated going into that game. That is going to be a marquee game. Tough ticket. Charlie Viator. What is your gut on the linebacker? Perkins, I really like the fact that he's not signing tomorrow. I think that could bode well for LSU. Just need to get Coach Kelly to finish off his staff. Need to find out who the linebackers coach is going to be. I know Dwayne Thomas, former LSU defensive back that works in the building, has done a good job recruiting and staying in touch with him throughout this whole process. That's an important relationship. And hopefully Dwayne's going to still be in the player personnel department under Kelly. I think he's keeping a lot of those guys, or at least it seems that way. Let's see. Yeah. Is he even welcome anymore? Of course, he's obviously ill. Ryan Ingle will keep Dick Vitale away from that game. Yeah, I wonder what crew they send for that one. Michael Blanco, there is a 2-hour difference. I'm sure the private jet will have him back in time for the basketball game. The basketball game is at 6. The football game is at 8. And they're both in the central time zone. So, I don't know. Maybe does he try to do both? He probably could do a half or right at the end of the ceremony at halftime. That's probably a real scenario, Michael. I agree with you. Tracy Goday Lewis, what are the chances the NCAA gives this waiver to Nuss to play and not lose a red shirt? I think the chances are slim to none, but every now and then the NCAA surprises. And with the mess that they've created with the way things are being handled these days and the NIL and transfer rules and everything else, I almost feel like that they need to start bending over backwards to make some of this stuff work because it's really making these bowl games not matter. They really weren't mattering. They haven't mattered for years. The opt-outs started happening once the playoffs came about, and it's only getting worse. And now that you've got transfer rules and opt-outs, it's getting to the point now where bowls are just not really anything that fans of major schools that are used to big things really look forward to anymore. Everybody I talk to is more interested in that Kentucky basketball game now, and that's unfortunate. And and does that get better with the 12-team playoff, or does that even get worse? There's so many things that they need to get a handle on. I think the early signing period needs to be repealed. I think that's got to go. So, yeah. They need to have a big constitutional convention at the NCAA and fix a lot of things. And I hate to say it, but it probably takes somebody like Nick Saban to really get out front and be the guy to make a lot of these necessary changes come about. Dane Bergeron, bowls are obsolete. I don't know how many of you guys saw Lane Kiffin's USA Today article today. He's said everything in that article I've been saying for several weeks on this show. Ryan Caldwell, what's your gut or plan B for defensive coordinator? Any smoke on Houston's defensive coordinator? I haven't heard anything on him. You know, Kentucky's defensive coordinator was the first and only name I've heard. That was the one, job that we weren't hearing anything on until Friday, and then I put that out Saturday morning that he was the guy to be paying attention to, and now he's off the board. So I'm sure there's a couple other guys. He wasn't the only one. I think we're going to have coordinators pretty darn soon. I believe that. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go see what Preston's got and get the Ibieta story up. I might be sending a newsletter out tonight. I'm not sure, but I got to get everything ready for signing day tomorrow. Please like, share, go subscribe to TigerBait. We got a big day tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be at Quincy Wiggins. We're going to do that one live. We'll stream that one live tomorrow morning. And I'm planning on, I think I'm going to jump in the car. Usually we get a wave in the morning. I'm probably going to jump in the car and head to Lafayette for Walker Howard signing at 1 o'clock. So we'll stream that one live as well. So it's going to be a long, long day tomorrow, and I'm going to be highly caffeinated. So thanks, you guys, for coming on the show tonight. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. Buddy and I will be back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for a signing day wrap-up show. And by the way, we still haven't gotten any word that Coach Kelly is going to do an end-of-the-day wrap-up of signing day that we normally get from the head football coach. We've got nothing from LSU on that, so that's a little odd. Or does he maybe wait for Kendrick Law, who happens Friday, and maybe we get something early next week because of that? We'll see. So, all right, guys, good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and I'll be on the TigerBait message board and on the site all day tomorrow. Good night.